Good afternoon and evening, everyone. This is Terraquator. It is Saturday, February 24th, 2024. It is day 55 of Still Being Sober. Cheers. I was craving some carbonated tea because it's really good. I'd say the closest thing you can get for that is kombucha on the regular. And kombucha, again, is not cheap. And kombucha is just fermented tea, so it's relatively similar. It's just one's carbonated, the other's carbonated through fermentation. And they're both absolutely delicious. It feels like it's been a little while since I had kombucha. Was it this month or last month I had it? I don't have it very often because it's just too expensive. So I can only have it as like a delight for myself. Lilia likes the peach one, and sometimes the what do they call it? Guava monster, or something like that. And I like to have the I think they call it Trinity. But yeah, they have some really good kombuchas that you can just get on the regular in the produce, usually near the produce section of your grocery stores. Because it's fermented tea. It's still good, but this is cheaper. All I do to make it is I have a soda stream. I need to get a different one that's safer to do with juices and teas. Because soda stream is supposed to be with straight up water, so I can't recommend other people doing it. It's still a risk, because I feel that thing, it pressurizes so much when you do it with tea. But I just use one of the 1 gallon bags or tea packets from Red Diamond. As Red Diamond happens to be my favorite unsweetened sun tea, or just your typical iced tea. You can either make it in the sun or do it with hot water. I just do it with hot water because is it spring now or is it still technically the winter? I'll have to double check on that one because I heard the groundhogs on channel. Or in the beginning of this month. But you just make yourself some sun tea. I use the 1 gallon packets from Red Diamond because, like I said, Red Diamond happens to be my favorite iced tea flavor. And I'm not talking sweetened because I don't do sweet tea. And yes, people in the South still look at me like I'm crazy for drinking unsweetened iced tea. But what I have noticed, though, which, here, let me move this a little bit, which I don't really have a problem with, is more people are having unsweetened iced tea, even here in the Southwest. And I want to attribute that to, that would be push notifications on my phone. One moment. I should mute those when I do these, huh? Let me take a look here. What do we got? It was my brother through Instagram. He hasn't been texting. I think his phone's out or something, but I don't know. Let's see. Right. Excuse me. Anyway, I want to attribute more unsweetened beverages, even carbonated unsweetened. I want to attribute that to being a millennial. Or possibly even attribute some of that to Gen Z. It really wants me to know. Yeah, again, I do think it's our two generations that just grew up, I'd say in the middle of the health food craze. I think I figured it out. That's a different topic though. But we grew up during the health food craze where people are always talking about eating healthy. I mean, remember during the Obamas, Michelle Obama had what was it? The healthy living eating, and really talked about growing your own fruits and vegetables. She had her own vegetable garden in the Rose Garden, and also talked about the healthy lifestyles, the exercise and stuff like that. That's one thing I really, really appreciated with Michelle Obama was really promoting healthy eating. And, well, that's turned around, hasn't it? But that's what millennials and Zeta grew up with, more or less. I mean, when I really grew up as a little kid, that was definitely no. That's when we still had the food pyramid was completely wrong. And we had old Danimals. Remember those? I actually never had Danimals as a kid. My parents just said it was garbage. So they said no, I couldn't have it. One thing I do appreciate as a child is I'd say I was probably about 7 or 8. Ever since then, we never had American cheese in our house. I can appreciate that. Because now that I look at it, because I've had American cheese, or the processed cheese again as an adult, because low income, and I really appreciate having almost never having American cheese in the house growing up as a kid and teenager, because that processed stuff is nasty. It is so gross. Just find yourself some mild cheddar if you're desperate or something. Just do that. But I didn't do a whole lot of junk food as a kid. High school, there was a lot of soda, but that's because that was when Pepsi Blue was a thing. I always bought out the supply of Pepsi Blue at my high school through 2002 through 2004, I think it was. And then it was just gone. I was so upset, and I never bought soda afterward at the school. But I was always buying up their supply over there of Pepsi Blue. As a younger kid, I didn't do a whole lot of sweets. I mean, I kind of did and kind of didn't. I was the kid who bought the weird sweets. Like, I don't like Hershey bars. They're just so meh. They're very forgettable. How about that? They talk about milk chocolate, but that ain't milk chocolate. That's a candy. I mean, if you realize, Hershey's doesn't even call their chocolate bar a chocolate bar. They call it a candy bar because it does not qualify as a chocolate bar. So I would buy Lindt. I think it was Lindt. Lindt, I think it is. They had I haven't seen any at the store recently, and I'm bummed out about it because it was my favorite chocolate bar as a kid. It was one of their, I think it was 90% cocoa dark chocolate, but it had chili pepper in the chocolate. That one was so good. It was so. I hope they didn't discontinue it because it was the best flavored dark chocolate bar I've ever had. Not a whole ton of sugar in there, and the pepper bite was just right. It was definitely more. I don't know about flavorful because that 9 million Scoville chocolate bar I did was very, very milky. It was a very good milk chocolate. But other than that, I would buy sometimes bulk chocolate because I would try to form it into stuff, but I didn't have the right materials as a kid. But I also bought those big, huge, like 2-inch sphere jawbreakers. I actually made money off of those as a kid, but then I was told I couldn't do it anymore because I was selling candy. I got in trouble in junior high. Crescendo would be able to tell you all about it. He was my friend through junior high school. In fact, he lives near me now. Lives about 36 miles away from me right now. It's weird. We both grew up in the California Valley, and we both ended up in Oklahoma. But yeah, we made a little bit of money off of selling jawbreakers to people. This was during the back end of the Ed, Edd n Eddy craze when I was in junior high. So that was like 2000, 2001. Yeah. What's weird about that? Because I know I started high school in 2002. So I was in 8th grade during 9/11. For some reason, I thought I was in 7th. It's weird. Huh. Anyway, that's a different topic entirely. I don't really have a whole lot of notable things to talk about when it comes to high school, though. Well, I didn't like school. How about that? I did not like school life at all. I liked some of the friendships I made, like with Crescendo. Yeah, that friendship was strong. We don't talk very often anymore, but that we have our separate lifestyles kind of thing. So we don't talk too often, but that was a good time. I'd say that was the only good time I had in junior high, was hanging out with him. And high school just sucked. Anyway, I was talking about other things like carbonated tea and apparently candy. But again, it's definitely the back end of... Okay, so early adulthood is when it really started with the healthy eating. And there were still some millennials that were teenagers at that time. Not a whole lot of them. So it was mostly the back end of millennial and the Zeta generation that had the healthy living while growing up. And then Alpha starts coming around, and of course that it dies out, and now everyone's talking about fat phobia. So I'd rather be healthy, but I'm not healthy. I still ate way too much junk as an adult, especially in my 20s. I ate way too much junk. Just destroyed myself, really. But I wouldn't mind seeing leadership going back onto the healthy living push, because that was good times. And speaking of healthy living, Oklahoma did something that I'm so incredibly happy for. And as far as I've heard, Governor Stitt is going to sign it. Only 2 people voted no, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican. And I know we're talking, but this is like 100% good news. Oklahoma Senate voted to make... to remove sales tax from food. And I'm incredibly happy for that. I grew up my whole life, well, my whole childhood in California, where food was untaxed unless it was cooked. Cooked food was taxed, and that's an agreeable tax for me. There's a service involved with cooked food. But uncooked food of any kind was untaxed, and that was the weird loophole where Subway and Papa Murphy's, those chains, they didn't exactly have a sales tax on some of their food, but they could use EBT because it was uncooked food. I wouldn't advise people doing that because of how expensive they are. I mean, getting all the ingredients to make your own pizza at home is, I'd say, just as expensive, if not more expensive, when it comes to gathering all the ingredients, but you can make more with the ingredients you get. But I do miss Papa Murphy's. The closest Papa Murphy's to me is over 100 miles away, so I can't have Papa Murphy's. And boy, howdy do I miss it. But Oklahoma did vote to remove sales tax from food. I'm incredibly happy for that. It was near unanimous. It was almost unanimous, minus 1 Republican and 1 Democrat. And the 1 Democrat said, like, honestly, it seemed brain dead to me, where they said that removing the sales tax wouldn't do anything to really help the poorest of Oklahomans. Yeah, it would. We had, I think they said it was a 6.5% tax, but because of how sales tax works, most cities would still keep it at the same rate of near 9%, which is what our regular sales tax is. So everything was still taxed at the same rate. And I understand EBT didn't have to, EBT, SNAP food benefit recipients, they don't have the taxes on there, but a lot of people like myself who do have to rely on those systems, they only give you a little bit because they're like, You don't really need that much. It doesn't go very far. So having that tax removed means when our EBT dries up, we'll still be spending we'll now still be spending around the same without having to worry about that sales tax. So I'm thrilled about this. I'm unbelievably thrilled. And the fact that only 2 people said no, by the way, they're idiots. Whoever said no to that, by the way, if they're in your district, when it comes time, vote them out because they're not thinking about you. I understand that we're in a huge hole, but we just need to get more industries in here. That's a whole other thing. But no, that's like the best news I've heard for Oklahoma in a while. Incredibly good news. The people at or below the poverty line have even just that little bit of a break. Just that little bit. That's wonderful. We'll figure out how to get the other stuff somewhere. Maybe increase like traffic fines. Although no, that wouldn't work. No. Could look at doing some excise taxes on some other things that are just really not good for you. Could help alleviate some of that, but not entirely. I'd say traffic fines, but that goes toward the roads. But we know there are plenty of private roads here. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's enough of that. I've done more than enough rambling. I'm sorry I rambled as much as I did, but when I talk about food, apparently I get food in the past. Apparently I get really passionate about it. I thought about doing food reviewing once, but then I realized that that's a lot of work and that's a lot of money. I don't have the backing to do food reviews, and I need to get healthy. I'll do more cooking videos, though. I'm not going to be able to do those ones very often. I think probably only in the beginning of each month because of, well, again, we live below the poverty line. So everything we do, if there's anything nice we do, is usually at the beginning of the month when we have some available finances to do something. I refinanced one of my loans. I need to stop doing that in order to make sure Lilia got her sushi on her birthday back on the 15th. But it was 100% worth it. That was some good sushi. I think what I'll do is I know I have the images on X, but I think I'll put them on my Discord. I'll put them in the announcements. Like, by the way, this is what Lilia had for her birthday. But outside of that, yeah, it's been a good day. It's good. Other than Sweet Bee has been absolutely terrorizing her older sister, so that's been a thing. But I gotta leave it at that. I'm 18 minutes into this whole rambling, so I just need to let everyone just have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. Day 55 has been great. It's been really good, so I feel good. I think it's the tea. This is Terra Quator on your Saturday, February 24th, 2024, day 55. I want everyone to enjoy the rest of their Saturday, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.
Holy Ghost, kid. Squid, want to sing a bit of reminds me? Jump up to punch cages, water doing the chaos. Ski, I can speak of some. I can what about this hours. Because you're going to tell me to get some results. Oh, nice. I can pass my show. Jump up to this one, baby.